Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buto,
And I'm Adryon Thomas.
and today on the ABCs, we're taking you from A to Z on the new Predator film, Predator Badlands. We're also going to touch on the other movies in the franchise as well to show the trajectory, how this franchise has somehow come back and better than ever, arguably, at the hands of Dan Trachtenberg and these last three new films. But in order to do that, we kind of have to also explore what came before it. So it should be a beefier episode.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot to talk about with these Predator movies. They're kind of all over the place.
Yeah. So I guess let's start off with us and how we, I guess, first got exposed to Predator. Like everything else, I kind of saw it way late in the game. I literally saw the first Predator and all these other ones, as a matter of fact, last year and this year, around there. But Prey from 2022, I saw that when it came out. That was my first Predator movie. And then everything else I just kind of ignored until something compelled me to visit it. I was like, oh, okay, like Predator Badlands, I should probably see these other ones. And even then, I saw Badlands and then watched these other ones. We're preparing for the episode. So the podcast pushes me to see new things. People push me to see new things. Otherwise, I would just rewatch the same things over and over again. I feel like that's unfortunately how my brain works.
That's
but
how most people are, actually.
Yeah.
Most people just watch the same thing over. They don't really push themselves to watch anything that they're not used to.
Comfort zones and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to, this is why this is such good practice. And also it's why we can do that for other people, hopefully. Encourage other people to see different films they haven't seen before. So what about you?
Well, I guess I was introduced to the Predator through Alien versus Predator because I think that was the first movie that I saw with both those creatures in it at a very young age. And then obviously I got into Alien and then I got into Predator. I think I saw the first Predator movie in my early teens. Liked it a lot, thought it was great, and I saw the other movies afterward at the time that I could watch, and I guess I've kept I've seen all the new Predator movies that have come out through the years, like when they have come out, so I've been on top of the Predator lore, but it wasn't as interesting to me as, say, the Alien movies. So I was more of an Alien guy than a Predator guy, but I always thought the Predator was a really cool creature and character. I just wasn't always a huge fan of all the other movies that was associated with it, other than the first one and like Alien versus Predator as a kid. But since Dan Trachtenberg has taken hold of the franchise, it's gotten just better and better with each one for me.
I don't know if I would say that exact same thing, but it definitely it's back. We're back. Like they really have struggled to make sequels to Predator for so long.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Trachtenberg just has enough love for it and has enough great ideas cooking around that lore-wise I'm interested.
I mean, the lore has always been there. Just it's been in more like comic books and video games and everything other than the movies.
Yeah, but it's really become more interesting since he took hold of it, and I'm just excited to see where he goes from here. So starting with Badlands, this is the spoiler-free review, I guess, of Badlands, and then we're going to touch on all the other ones, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some spoilers on Badlands.
So spoiler-free for Badlands. Go watch it. It's great. It's one of the greatest like action movies of this year.
Absolutely. And it's PG-13, which is so crazy, but we'll get into that in a second, why that doesn't really matter for this film. But yeah, so this is spoiler-free. You're safe listening to this if you haven't seen the movie. The other movies we're going to spoil because they're older, and then we'll come back and spoil this one as well at the end of the episode. So this film, what stands out to me immediately about it is the structure and how it, first of all, takes a unique approach by making the Predator the protagonist for the first time, which is a really cool idea that I'm surprised hadn't been done yet. And also the fact that it's like a video game in a lot of ways. There's companions, there's boss fights, there's creatures and new, like, they all have different kind of rules and ways that they work. The story is very much like a quest,
Yeah.
but it's not full of like annoying MacGuffins or things that feel weightless. Like I feel like I really cared watching this movie.
It's very tight. It's like it's such a clean movie. Like everything that happens for a reason. It's all so cool. Yeah, it is very much like video game mechanics. Also, it reminds me a lot of like D&D, and like the creatures, super cool creature designs and environmental designs, and just overall just a super creative movie. Like it's just so creative.
Very much, and that's why I think it's such a joyful watch in the theater. Especially, we saw this in 40X,
Yeah.
and that was so great because this really was a movie that I just wanted to eat popcorn and like get fucking thrown around in the seat watching it. So it was perfect for that. I also want to just quickly summarize what this film is about because it will play into the later stuff that we talk about when we get back to it. But this film essentially follows a young predator who's like he's physically smaller and he's kind of the runt, you could say.
So he's basically the movie. Just basic synopsis is he's a small runt of a predator, and he's trying to prove himself by killing one of the most the most unkillable creature out there and super feared, and he has to go to a planet that's like super deadly to like everything around it. So that's the journey, basically.
Right, and
without spoiling anything.
He's doing this because he was cast out from his clan, and he's trying to earn their favor back, specifically his father. So it's a coming-of-age story in that way. And along the way, he meets this optimistic, fun, like companion android played by Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning is so good in this movie.
She's great, yeah.
Yeah, she's so fun. I guess I've seen some criticisms that her character is like quippy. It's like an MCU thing, but like no, I kind of felt like she.
I hate the criticisms of movies that are it's like MCU. It's like no they're not. You do know that movies have happened before the MCU has been created. It is not an MCU thing. It's more of the fact that once Marvel got into like its routine of the type of movie it was trying to be, it became that type of movie.
It's just, I guess, an easy way to get people to understand what you mean when you're saying stuff because it's so popular.
Yeah, and I think that's so annoying because, like, look at any other movie before Marvel, and you still have characters just like
well, I was actually going to say, the Elle Fanning character in this movie reminded me a little more of, like, I don't know, this kind of companion archetype, I feel like, is not anything new.
Yeah.
Donkey from Shrek, same shit.
I was literally thinking about. I was like, some parts of this movie reminds me of Shrek, of how it's like kind of like this journey into like him trying to get his swamp, but in this movie, he's trying to kill a dragon.
But yeah, this. And a lot of people have said it feels like an episode of The Mandalorian or something, which I actually think is a pretty apt comparison.
Sure,
It does feel a little like people have been thrown the criticism Disney-ified.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like a Disney Plus show episode, but really long in a way. But also, it's just like a really fucking good one. Like, you know what I mean?
It's super. And I think the reason why people are saying it's Disney-fied is because it's PG-13 and there's no no humans are killed because no human can survive.
There's no human in the movie.
Yeah.
There's not a single human.
You can't get like not real, but red blood and things that would make the movie feel more gruesome or brutal in terms of killing human beings. But there's so much carnage in this movie, much devastation happening to creatures and synths, and it's like you don't need humans for that, and it's fine. I think a lot of the criticisms coming from this movie are actually weirdly enough childish, and it's like, it's not the Predator I grew up with. There's not enough blood in it. It's like, you sound like a child right now, dude. Like, okay, there's no red blood in it. Cool, there's green blood in it. What do you want? Like, shut up,
Yeah.
dude. Like, that's such a lame criticism. Okay, it's PG-13, but this movie would have been rated R if like a synth was a human and that's the only difference, except they're not human, because it makes sense in the movie for them not to have any humans in the movie. Like,
It just feels rather like
it's such a nitpick of a thing.
it just feels like a rather surface level complaint of like I just want the word, I just want it to say R on the
Yeah.
poster, like, you know what I mean?
It's like you do know that the rating of the movie is not, like, doesn't depict what the movie is about and what's happening in the movie. It's just a thing that a bunch of people saw the movie and they were like, yeah, it doesn't have blood in it, so I guess it's not a rated R movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's also like a cute side creature companion character.
That I could understand that. I could understand that people are like, oh, I don't like some of the humor or whatnot, which is, I guess, subjective. But I mean, for this type of movie, for this kind of journey, there's bound to be some like comedic elements to it. Like, look at Lord of the Rings, like fantastic trilogy movie. That's not rated R. They go through this whole journey. There's some comedy in there. There's a lot of action in there. There's some great characters in there. It's PG-13. It won Academy Awards, and that's not a masterpiece. That's not fantastic. That's not great.
There were people that
That's
said,
Disney-fied. Lord of the Rings is Disney-fied. Like, what are you guys talking
I think
about?
there's a slight difference. I think Lord of the Rings, it's a little older, and I think it got away with a little more. But
Sure, but I mean, I don't see, like, got away with what.
I mean, those orcs are pretty fucking gnarly at times.
Yeah,
People
sure.
are getting decapitated, and
People are getting
Christopher
decapitated in this
Lee's
movie
getting
too.
impaled by spikes and like all that shit.
Like people, like, the synths are getting demolished in this movie.
Right.
Like,
I get your point.
and they look more human in this movie than they do in Arcs in Lord of the Rings, where they look disgusting. And it's like, yeah, kill those guys. They're like Nazis. Kill them.
I think the giant spider is pretty scary in Lord of the Rings. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's not the point.
But no, I think people saying that it's Disneyfied is stupid, because there are other movies out there that are PG-13 that are completely fine.
Well, what I mean is the difference is that people saw Lord of the Rings at a lot of people who are fans of Lord of the Rings now saw it when they were a kid, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is fucking awesome." And that's exactly what this movie is for.
Yeah, it's
You
for,
watch it as a 14-year-old boy. This is the best movie for like a 13 to 15-year-old boy ever.
This
I mean, not just boys, but
yeah.
it is tackling a lot of themes.
This
that are
is
very
really a movie
masculine.
for everybody. That, like, there's not, unless you're like really adverse to watching like action, or you don't like action in your movies, then I guess this is not for you. But if you want an action adventure journey movie, then this is it. Like, this has everything you pretty much need in it.
Yeah, I mean, some people will think it's just okay. They won't care about it as much as we did. They won't be blown away.
Yeah.
And they'll just think it's a good sit. But I think as a really fun theater experience for young teens to any age, really, it's like perfect. It's like, this is exactly what it needs to be. And so that...
Yeah, no, again, if you have criticisms with like I don't know, the comedy, or you just don't like certain tones of the movie, sure, that's fine.
Exposition is another one.
But most of the criticisms that I've seen about this movie are really stupid. Like, it's like, it's PG-13 and there's not enough blood in it. It's like, oh, shut up. What are you talking about? If you don't like it, then you don't like it, but don't say that it's not the Predator you grew up with. Of course it's not.
You're really just complaining that the story didn't force itself to be rated R.
Yeah.
Because that is just not the story that's being told. There's no humans in the movie, so why would you need that? You're just asking for them to insert a human just so they can get de-spined or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pointless. It's not what this movie is. That's not the tone. That's not the language that this movie is trying to do. The tone of this movie is, I think, exactly what we're describing. It's a movie for young teens to adults that's fun, that's like looking to, um, I guess, inject some I guess themes that are adjacent to the one that of the original film, and put a clever spin on it by making the Predator the protagonist and making it a coming of age story. It's like, yeah, it's just a wonderful time, and I think
Yeah.
just about anybody can and will enjoy this if they're not being curmudgeonly and like crossing
Yeah.
their arms about it and being like, oh, this is fucking
I mean,
stupid.
yeah, the people that at least the loud negative reactions to this movie, it's almost like the loud negative reactions to like the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. You guys are just mad that you don't have the original movie just redone in a different package nowadays.
And the character in the movie like is, learning to respect this android that's played by a woman, and so there's always that's gonna
Yeah,
bother
there's a lot of
bad people.
themes. Well, we'll get into the themes a bit more,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
really Dan Trachtenberg just like got all the great stuff that we were missing from the Predator movies and put it into like this movie and like the last two movies that he's done.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like with each one, he knows exactly what he's trying to make. He's very clear in his vision, and I think he executes it really well. And I think he's actually doing, like, these are studio films, and I understand those criticisms, but I think he's playing within the system really, really well.
Yeah.
And he's finding ways to make quality blockbusters that everyone can enjoy to a certain degree. And I don't feel like any of the studio isms kind of pervade these movies that much. I think they're there. You kind of, this is reality, but it is really, really, really enjoyable. So that's
the themes and the characters are just so much better than what we've gotten in the past. Except for the original Predator movie, which we should just get into right now.
So we'll be back to Badlands.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original Predator is less of an adventure. It's more of a survival movie.
Yeah.
And just, like I said, adjacent themes to Badlands here, where you're critiquing masculinity. In this one in particular, you're critiquing kind of the American war mentality classic scene where someone's spraying bullets into the jungle blindly, doesn't know where the predator is, just like that. It's basically putting these soldiers up against an enemy that is extremely strategic and tactical and stealthy and patient and all these things that machismo just can't like combat directly. You can't be gung-ho in the way that you take on the predator. You have to be strategic. So I think it's honestly just a really cool movie in that way. And also that there's the meme with the two arms, and that's supposed to be funny. Almost satirical in the film.
Yeah, no, it's like the hyper masculinity of that film. I think a lot of people when they first saw it, and even people that today that still have nostalgia for that movie, is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, like all these huge guys in the movie that were like icons of their time for being like super buff, ripped dudes, just shooting huge guns, and they're just getting wiped out. They're getting wiped out from this one predator creature, and it's that's the point. It's the point, being like no matter how big you are, no matter how masculine you are, you're not gonna be enough. And especially again with the whole ideas of the American military complex and like wanting to be so jingoistic about everything at the time, you're waiting to be knocked down a few pegs. I could also see a lot of maybe themes of the Vietnam War, how we lost the war, and people are still kind of mad about that, but and yet they want to be like, no, we're American, we're still big and bad, and we didn't lose the war, we just wanted to get out of there. It's like, no, we lost the war because we couldn't, there was no reason to be in that war for one, and the native, the Vietnamese people, that's their land, that's their jungle, that's where they live, they're going to use the tactics that they know against us, which we just had big guns and an attitude, and that wasn't enough.
Yep. And I think this film is great.
Yeah.
It's a great, like, I guess, metaphor for all of that, and really just well directed. John McTiernan, right?
Yeah, great. Yeah. One of the great action, like his lineup of what I think it was like Hunt for Red October, Die Hard, Predator, or I got it mixed up, but it's like just the lineup of those three just back to back is incredible. And he's done other movies like The Last Action Hero, which is so underrated. Nobody talks about that movie enough, and it's super good. Also has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. But yeah, great movie. You could understand why people wanted there to be a sequel and other movies and have a whole franchise behind it, because the Predator was just such a cool character when it came out, and premise of this thing that just hunts people and has super cool advanced technology, but it also turns invisible. It's very scary too. I don't know. It's great.
It's lovely.
And then the Predator 2 just kind of drops the ball.
Predator 2 is... So this is an LA crime film, sort of. It's like an LA police procedural.
Yeah.
With a Predator. I was excited when I first started watching it. Now, we watched all of these in preparation. I watched most of them separately. We watched the Trachtenberg ones together. Yeah. But the other ones we watched separately, so we're kind of getting a little bit, I guess, of tastes from each other that we didn't know about pre-recording. This, I was excited when I first started it because, you know, there's this shootout, and I don't know, the politics of it are a little weird, but there's this shootout. I kind of like expected that, and there's a war, a gang war happening, or there's the Colombians and the Jamaicans in LA, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna think about that, but because I'm scared too. But then you see the Predator is watching this whole thing go down, and he you know, is taking people out in like crazy ways that no human being could be doing, and so the police are like investigating this. Bill Paxton, Danny Glover, Gary Busey are in the movie. Two of them not enough. Gary Busey and Bill Paxton should have had more screen time. I feel like if it had kept those characters together and like done something, the movie would be a lot more entertaining.
I think the only reason that those guys are in the movie is to branch off of the fact that they were in these better action movies of the time. Like Gary Busey was in Lethal Weapon, and Bill Paxton was in Aliens and Terminator. He was in the first Terminator, and I think maybe they thought bringing in some of these...
Gary Busey in Point Break, another police movie.
Yeah, I think that came in a few
maybe
years
that
after.
Is later. Yeah, that's later.
Anyway, it seems like this movie is just trying so hard to profit off of better movies before it, like Aliens. Like Aliens was so big as the sequel movie to Alien that the Predator 2 had to be like that, and so they tried to copy that type of movie. Like even near the end of Predator 2, when they all got the cameras on them and they're all going in trying to get the Predators, just like Aliens when they first go in.
Yeah. And
it tries to be these action movies, but it doesn't even try to be a Predator movie. It does expand the lore just a little bit near the end, but it doesn't do anything unique with the ideas of the first Predator. And also the main, like, Danny Glover, loved the guy, but his character just sucks in this movie. Like,
not interesting at all.
He makes the movie, like, every decision that character makes just makes it worse for everybody there. Obviously you need conflict in a movie for it to be interesting, but it's just kind of like a bunch of stupid stuff just going down. Also, the Colombians versus Jamaicans. What is happening? This movie is directed by Stephen Hopkins.
Yes.
Who's a white dude. He is also Jamaican. I guess he was born in Jamaica. I don't know why they had to do this weird, like, drug related clash going on in LA.
Perhaps someone could explain to us how this thematically ties into the Predator.
I don't know.
It's
it
lost
just,
on us.
Yeah. Also, the fact that it happens in LA, I feel like, as cliche as it is, I feel like it would have been better to happen in New York than in LA,
Like
because
the actual concrete jungle.
yeah, because that just has like so many big buildings, and like he could like hop around them, and like I feel like that'd be a cooler environment for the Predator to be in.
I do enjoy the idea of putting the Predator in the city for the sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. I think it's cool.
I like that idea too.
But I feel like, it was not executed to its best. I say all this, I still kind of liked the movie because it was entertaining enough, and I liked the scenes where the Predator was killing people. I thought those were some of the better scenes in the movie. I do like, there's imagery in the film I like. There really is. I think there's this one shot of the Predator like on the building with the spine, and like there's things about it where I'm like, I can see this concept being way cooler under different circumstances. I also do kind of like the climax of this movie, where he faces off the Predator, because it has my favorite Predator contraption thing, which is the compression net, and he has this like blade that he takes from it, and if he hadn't taken that, he would have been fucked. Yeah, he would have been diced. Yeah, he would have been cubed. I didn't mind the movie when I was a kid. I saw this like pretty early on, but like every time I've watched the movie, it gets worse. Like, it just doesn't hold up that well. It doesn't do much for the franchise. It doesn't do much. It's not really saying much about the lore of the Predator, except for the small moment near the end where there's more of them, and there's a xenomorph skull.
There's a xenomorph skull, which is what leads to the whole Alien versus Predator stuff that would happen later.
Danny Glover's character gets given this pistol that comes back in 2 of the other movies as well,
which doesn't really make sense in the movie based on what would happen later on in the mythology of the...
I think it does.
How?
What are you referring to that it doesn't make sense?
It doesn't make... Why are they giving him a gun? And why are they letting him free?
Well, they don't let him free. I guess they let him free, but then they take him, which is what happens to other characters.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They're
then you're saying Killer of Killers doesn't make sense.
No, Killer of Killer makes... I think Killer of Killer makes sense in terms of all the other movies. Predator 2, just... It doesn't make sense because he's there... There's a bunch of Predators there. They kind of respect him. They could have taken him. They could have just taken it. Why are they giving him a gun? Only for them to just take him again. It just doesn't make sense.
They got to work that through the bureaucracy, bro. They got to get approval.
No,
they get to take that guy. No, I think they gave him the gun. Like, I think it's the same as
I mean, I get it. In the movie, they're kind of like, you're a killer of killer. We appreciate you. This is what we've had. In the past,
yes,
we've gone...
It's a little inconsistent.
And it makes sense for the movie, but as we see down the line and we get to explore the lore over the years, it just doesn't make sense after the fact, because they wouldn't just let him go. They would take him because he is a killer of killers at that point.
But, yeah, I think if you don't, I guess, have him surrounded by predators at the end, then it would make sense for him to walk away, and then we just find out he gets abducted later.
Yeah.
Because that happens in other movies. Anyway,
it's
maybe a certain predator has to come pull up and abduct you. Maybe there's like a guy that has that job. Dan's gonna fix it. Dan's gonna fix it. Okay, we'll get into it.
Yeah. But then after again, I guess we kind of glossed over, but the pistol that they give to him is the same pistol that we will soon see in Prey.
Yeah, and it's from 1715.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't mention this, but in the original Predator, Shane Black is in that film.
Oh yeah.
And he did do some script work on it. My theory, we mentioned this in our Shane Black episode, actually, which you should listen to. But my theory is that he wrote all of his own dialogue because he's always making jokes, and I feel like they're just very Shane Black jokes. I'm like, that's all he did. I think that's all he did.
Because he didn't want to be a writer. He just wanted to be an actor in that movie, and they were like, please, you're like one of the best writers in the
I'm sure he did a little bit.
Hollywood
also, he wrote Lethal Weapon, which Danny Glover back in this one, so it all kind of ties together. And Shane Black will eventually go on to direct a Predator movie, so So that's very cool. Yeah, I hope it really works out for him.
Then
Hope
yeah,
it's
then
good.
after Predator 2, they were just like, I don't think this is working out for us guys until Alien versus Predator.
Now here's the thing. This is the one I haven't watched.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to
Well,
take the reins
well,
on
the
this one.
reason why I didn't like tell you got to watch this movie is because it's so not canon at all. Like it's like if you, it's not canon at all, really.
Really,
At all.
I thought it was.
No, not at all. Because if you look at it and the lore that it sets up, it doesn't. It's not canon with the lore of Alien, and if it's not canon with the lore of Alien, then it can't be canon with the lore of Predator. Because in Predator versus Alien, the whole concept is that when Earth was first evolved with the very first people that were making pyramids, the predators came and they taught them how to build and do all this stuff, make technological advances, and humans would sacrifice themselves by being prey to aliens, so that when the alien would form, that would give the predator like a reason to hunt the alien. So the humans were just like sacrificial lamb for the predators, like fucking so many years ago, like thousands of years ago, in the with the first humans, and then I think at some point the aliens took over and the predators just had to wipe out everybody until they would come back. And so that doesn't make sense, because how are there aliens so long ago when technically when Alien has been rebooted, they haven't even been, I guess, invented or created. So what happened was Prometheus just basically just rebooted the whole Alien series, and so Alien versus Predator is just not canon, because it's kind of creating its own lore that doesn't really necessarily exist. Which is fine if you just want to look at Alien versus Predator as just a cool fan made movie where aliens and predators fight each other.
I would like to say, a lot of people say that's Paul W.S.'s best movie.
I honestly, I could probably agree with it.
Event Horizon?
He did, yeah.
You like that one better, Alien versus Predator?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people like Event Horizon.
A lot of people do. I never was a fan of it. I think there's a lot of cool imagery from Event Horizon that is kind of cool, but I never loved the movie. But
okay.
Alien vs. Predator is very similar to Badlands in certain ways, because that movie also came out. It was PG-13. A lot of people were kind of upset about that. Even though they do kill people in there. There's like blood and stuff. But I just don't think the violence was enough for it to be rated R. And it also kind of plays almost like a video game. Kind of like a Resident Evil game, like one of those video games where it's like.
Of course it does.
Of course it does, exactly,
it does.
because directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who does the Resident Evil movies, or has been doing the Resident Evil movies before, the last like one or two.
Johannes Roberts did the Welcome to Raccoon City. Oh, Johannes Roberts, he's redeeming himself in January with Primate, guys. He literally said that. He announced, like before the movie started, he was like, "You guys are gonna forgive me for Resident Evil when you see this. It's good. Go see Primate when it comes out. It's pretty good."
But yeah, it makes sense that Alien vs. Predator kind of feels like a video game movie as well, because it's directed by a guy who's done video game movies, and it's kind of cool because it's kind of like they find the little gun, the shoulder guns from the Predator in the big like pyramid that they're looking for, and that kind of starts everything, and it kind of starts the aliens coming in. And I just think it's kind of a little cool concept, horror little concept going on with that movie. And there's a lot of cool stuff, like the alien and the predators are fighting each other. It's pretty cool. I feel like the predator could probably more easily defeat an alien than they do in the movie. They kind of make him a bit more balanced out. But I think in reality, a predator could probably beat an alien pretty easily, especially if he has the shoulder gun, which they didn't have throughout most of the movie. But they introduce like the fact that the alien is immune to the acid blood, so they decapitate an alien head and give it to one of the human characters as a shield to block from acid.
That's cool.
Really cool. They take off a tail and make it into a spear, so now
That's
you can.
cool.
There's a lot of cool concepts in this movie that a lot of people aren't giving it credit for, and you get the whole like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is like the predator is not like friends with the humans, but they're going against.
They even say that in Predators.
Exactly, yeah. They kind of take that again from I think that movie, which is something we would see in other movies.
Paul W.S. in the Lost Lands. I liked that one.
It's a ridiculous movie. I don't think it's a great movie, but it is an interesting movie in terms of style and what he kind of brings to movies, which is very.
It's retro at this point.
Very retro, yeah. Anyway, Alien vs. Predator. First one, have nostalgia for it. It's not a great movie. It's kind of a fun movie. And again, I say, if you look at it as a non-canon film, almost like a high budget studio fan made film, it's a fun watch. It's a fun little enjoyable movie. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, on the other hand, god awful, so bad. Like any criticism that you hear from that movie is pretty accurate. It's super dark. You can't see anything in it. The only good thing about that movie is the concept of a predator xenomorph, like hybrid, which is in the movie, which is kind of cool. But everything else about that movie just kind of sucks.
Well, I can't speak on it, but given what you're saying, that's going to be my favorite one of all of them.
I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not.
I'm just kidding.
I actually haven't seen Requiem for quite a while. I do kind of want to revisit it just to kind of like catch up on it, but I just remember it's not good at all.
Right.
But yeah, that's the Alien versus Predator stuff.
Yeah.
And then we go right into
break. Predators. I fucking hate. I don't like Predators at all.
I think that's so interesting because this is the movie I thought you would like more than the other movies. And instead, you like Predator 2 more. Now, I don't like Predator 2 very much. And
I don't like it very much either. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I think...
This movie, I was like, no, this sucks.
I think this movie is just slightly better than Predator 2, though.
And that's fair. I can see it. I can see that opinion. And honestly, I was with you. For like 45 minutes of this movie, I was like, oh, yeah, this could be like a little guilty pleasure, like a fun little movie. No. It just okay.
The movie gets worse as it goes along.
It really fucking does.
It just like as the movie goes along, it's just like, oh man, why does it not feel as good as the first half of the movie? But yeah, it just starts off so strong. Such a cool opening concept of these guys falling from the sky. The parachute automatically goes up, and they all don't know each other.
It was like I was like, oh, it's Saw. They all wake up in this place.
Yeah.
But it's also like a little bit like shit. I had a comparison last night when I was watching it, and now I forget.
But yeah, it's such a like as the characters like get to know each other and get to figure out like what is happening, where are we? You figure out they're not even on Earth. There's aliens and stuff going on, and they're being hunted. A lot of strange things are going on. Like when that's happening, when they're trying to like figure out what's going on, that's when the movie like really picks up. The moment the IDF character, there's an IDF character in this movie. The moment she's like, "Oh, this is we're being hunted by a predator," she just knows all that information. She's like exposition 101 over here. Just giving us all the information that we need from the first movie. That's when the movie just kind of tanks itself once we figure out that, oh, this is the hunting ground for predators.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could assume that because it's called Predators, but the way that it kind of just goes from mystery to completely knowing everything,
Yeah.
and then Lawrence Fishburne somehow tanks the pacing,
So
comes
wasted.
in, gets fucking wasted. He plays this like guy that's it was Jurassic Park 3. That was the other comparison I had, because
Yeah.
it's kind of like Jurassic Park 3, and he's just the kid. Lawrence Fishburne's like the kid that has it all figured
Yeah.
out, but no, he kind of is like he's like fucked up, like, you know, he's lost his mind, and so
Yeah.
he's
No,
like,
he's
he
a
tries-
scavenger.
yeah,
like
he
so
tries
he's
to smoke
been there
them
for
out.
like what 10 years? Did he say, or something like that?
yeah.
And he just lost because I assume he's lost all idea of him ever leaving the planet, and he's kind of stuck here. And every year they bring in new people to come in and get fought and killed, and he just kind of takes from them what he can, and hope to not get caught up in all of it. Which is an interesting character and idea, but they don't utilize him well. They don't really explain it well, and they kind of, it's like the moment you meet him, you're like, oh, this is another character that we could like figure out more stuff about, and he does kind of do that exposition of like what's going on this planet, and then immediately turns out he's like just a bad guy,
And
that
then
gets killed off immediately.
yeah, and then it takes this huge break when he shows up
Yeah.
for all of that, and it just tanks interest and intrigue and the pacing and everything. And then after that, I mean, you get like a lot of action and chasing with the predators and stuff, but then everything just becomes so predictable and bland that by the end, even though it had all this like this intrigue in the premise
Yeah.
before, and like, okay, I don't know, the moment the movie really lost me was earlier than that. It was when Walton Goggins is just making these
He's making
awful,
crazy rape jokes.
yeah, these
Just
awful jokes
insane.
about rape, and like, it,
At that point, it's just like, wow, this was a different era of movies where you could just say that kind of stuff, and
yeah, but that's not even an excuse.
it's not. It's just insane.
Yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And like,
I mean, they're trying to make it the whole idea that he's a criminal. He's
a terrible guy.
for-
But everybody in the movie
everybody-
is so fucking cliche.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is so cliche. Adrian Brody's character is like the kind of jaded, like, he's knows everything. He's super strategic and stoic, and then, you know, he by the end, like, him and the IDF character start to care about each other, and I'm like, I get, okay, look, the IDF character being there is supposed to be like the worst people ever get like brought here, so I get that, but then you make her like the most,
she's like the most empathetic character,
you
and
try to
it's
make
like-
her the most empathetic character in
it's
the
like
film. It doesn't work.
No, yeah,
You're
it's so hypocritical.
like
It's
the whole
insane.
idea of the movie is called Predators, right? Because there's several predators in the
Yeah.
movie, but really they say this in the movie. They're like, "Oh, we're the predators. We're the killers
Yeah.
that are being put here to do that." It almost feels like I guess a challenge for their, you know, can you prove your humanity in a way?
Yeah. I feel like that
but
could
no.
have been a good concept,
Right, but you're using characters that you shouldn't be using for that, and I feel like there had to be a little more nuance to these guys for it to work. And it's a stacked cast, really, of likable actors overall.
Yeah.
But they're not really well utilized, and I guess Adrian Brody is. I actually don't mind him in the role. I just wish his character was better.
Yeah.
Topher Grace, I get what they're doing with him.
The little twist of him being like some serial killer is, I get it, but it's also like you're giving it away, like just from the fact that he comes off as like this kind of like, oh, he's
It's the corniness
weak
of
and-
it. It's the over. It's like I said, it's the kind of clichéness of the character. It's like he turns from one cliche to another.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like you're getting a lot of nuance out of that character. Like, if he wasn't so cowardly, if he didn't play that up so much, I feel like it would have been better, you know, have him just be a confused regular guy. that tries to hold his own at least, you know. But in this one, he acts very helpless a lot of the time. Now, I do get what they're trying to do with the story, because you know all these guys were put together and like it's a test, or it's like, you know, they're becoming prey, and like he's like the one guy that doesn't fit. He's like, what is this guy that's just random, and he has kids, and he's just a normal guy, right?
He doesn't have kids.
Well, he doesn't have kids, but he says he has kids. You know this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm talking about what the characters think.
Yeah.
So they're like, who is this regular guy? And so I guess the movie tries to trick you into thinking that he was placed there as a regular guy to play with their sympathy and get them to care about him and slow them down so that they are more easily hunted. And that's what the movie tries to convince you of before the twist. But really, it's that, no, he's actually also awful, and that's why he's there. So
yeah,
it was really him trying to play their sympathy the whole time. I get it.
Yeah, I feel like when I was watching this, I was like, this almost feels like a movie, like a spec script of a really cool idea, a really cool premise of these guys on a planet that they don't know they're on a different planet, and they kind of have to survive, and they're kind of put through all these trials and obstacles, and that's a pretty cool idea. And then like someone was like, that would make a really cool Predator movie, and they just kind of transitioned it into a Predator movie.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the case. I believe Robert Rodriguez had the idea for this movie, and he just got it made, but it just feels like this could have been a better movie if it wasn't a Predator movie. Maybe. There's just a lot of like wasted potential with this movie, and especially with the movies that would come after it. With Dan Trachtenberg's movies, they could have expanded on the lore in this film that they just don't. For instance, all these characters were assumed from the same year, when they could have like mixed around some different like people from different eras and different, like you could have a guy from Genghis Khan Mughal era, or like a pirate, or someone from the Civil War. Like you could have all these different characters like come to this planet not knowing, and that would have been cool, just to have all these different cultures and timelines of people and periods just kind of figuring out what's going on, but they don't. This is all just like what if situations, but I like that could have been more interesting, but we don't get stuff like that. We just kind of they're just kind of going back to the first movie and trying to almost homage the first movie, which is fine, but it's like as the movie just goes on, it just gets boring. It just gets worse, and it's uninteresting.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I was more let down because I did feel like I had the potential to like this movie. Yeah. But no, I was just like, this fucking...
It really
just makes so many wrong turns.
Yeah, it really is just that first half is just so solid, and like them like not knowing what's going. It's like a little Twilight Zone movie in itself. But then you figure out that it's a Predator movie, and it's like, okay, well, cool.
Doesn't really do much for the lore either.
I do like that it homages in the first movie when Billy takes out the machete and he cuts himself, and then he's like, I'm gonna get this Predator by myself, and it cuts to Arnold's reaction, and you just hear Billy scream, and it's like, oh well, okay, he's done for, I guess. But in this one, you get the Yakuza character, and he actually fights the Predator, and there's like an actual fight, which is I kind of liked. I think, and for a lot of people like the idea of like a samurai versus a Predator.
Also, I don't really care for the Predator dogs, and doesn't Shane Black bring those back in the next one?
There's like a different type of Predator dog in the Predator, but they're different in this one.
Right. I didn't like
them.
They
just have these big horns, and they're kind of scary.
Yeah, I just felt like it kind of felt like everything else in the movie, just kind of like very bland and just a target. It's just there.
I think they're fine. I like the idea of a Predator having a hunting dogs. And
I like it too.
But they just kind of come off as other like alien creatures.
Right.
Yeah, there's just a lot of wasted potential with this movie, and
yeah. Unfortunate. Not a big fan.
And then the next movie, We got
Look,
some more wasted potential.
Shane
Right
Black
here.
is back.
Yeah.
Yay. Boyd Holbrook in the lead.
I
Yay.
think this is the most unfortunate of the wasted potential of
The waste of potential era.
yeah, because I think if Shane Black did something more in lines of Predator 2,
Yes.
that would have been great. If there was like it's like a police procedural where they're trying to figure out like who's doing all these killings, and like it's all weird and they're strung up and whatnot, and you got that usual like Lethal Weapons type like buddy cop thing going on. They're trying to figure out like what's going on, and you find out that it's a predator doing all this stuff. I think that would have been really cool, but I don't even know what he's doing with this movie. You got all these weird like off kilter army guys that are crazy.
I kind of like the group.
I like the group fine enough, but I don't know. I just don't think the tones vibe as well in this movie.
No.
And there's the whole like autism is like a next evolution of human.
Yeah, and that's offensive to a lot of people, and I completely understand that. We did actually talk about this one quite a bit in our Shane Black, Ryan Johnson episode, which is our second episode of the show. So you can check that out too. Brutal action in this movie.
The action's great. I think he really goes for it when he's like demolishing these people, and I think it's a good. They introduced like the genetic modified predator. They introduced the idea of a predator killer suit. I don't think we'll ever see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
There's some good concepts in this movie. It's not put together well. There's this idea that maybe he wasn't able to make the film that he actually wanted to make due to like if you look at some of the set photos when they were releasing them, there's like tanks and stuff that I don't think's even in the movie, and other predators. Like I don't know what happened. Maybe they shot some stuff that they cut out, or maybe it's a completely different movie than what Shane Black really wanted it to be. But it's just so unfortunate because he's an OG Predator dude. Like he was in the first Predator. He was like a ghostwriter for some stuff, I guess.
I hope he had fun making it. I really it sucks that this was the turnout, but maybe one day he'll get another shot. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think
he
there's
needs to have the right.
I do truly think that there's a great Predator movie with Shane Black. This just wasn't it.
He just needs to have the right angle on it.
Yeah.
And this just wasn't. It's a little all over the place. It wasn't it.
I think it's because he's just he has to be more comedic with his stuff, and I don't think people like comedy in their Predator movies, as we will see with like Badlands.
Yeah,
but
maybe. There's a certain type of comedy. Yeah. I feel like they don't like it to be so overt. I feel like they want it to be more for the audience under the surface, like the satiricalness of the first one. I think is more in line with what the Predator should do, because I feel like the Predator itself in the movie, it needs to have an impact thematically.
Yeah.
You know, like a greater kind of like what is the monster of the alien creature commenting on in our society.
Yeah.
And I feel like Predator does that so well, and there's like two other movies that do that really well.
Yeah.
And one of them is Prey.
Yeah.
So
Prey was the comeback that we were all like, we didn't really, I don't think anybody really expected it to be great, because with all the Predator movies that have come out before, it's like, great, another Predator movie. But I think what gave a lot of people hope was that it was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is great, and he killed it with this movie. He really brought it back to its roots and what it's all about, and it's great.
I think this movie is a great like sibling to Badlands. I think these two movies are really the cream of the crop for me, and I think the way that Prey, I love the title being Prey. I love the fact that
the fact that it's not predator. It's called prey. Like the
Well,
fact that
but
nobody thought of that before is insane.
because the way that Naru is one of the best protagonists in my opinion of the whole series, because her whole thing is like, she's like, you don't think I'm dangerous, you don't think I'm a hunter, you look at me and you don't think I'm capable of it, and that's what makes me the greatest predator of all. Is like, she's so cunning in the way that I guess it's kind of doing a similar thing to the way that in the first one Arnold has to learn to be more strategic in order to outsmart the predator.
Yeah.
And she kind of already has that in her from the beginning, in the way that she hunts lions and the way that she goes about things, and she gets kind of scolded for it, and she doesn't always succeed, and she's just kind of like, nobody's given her way a chance, even though she is, like her I can't remember if it's her brother or just her friend that says like, you did help me hunt that lion, like you weakened it.
I think it was a brother.
Yeah. I couldn't quite remember, but yeah, I think it's a fantastic film. I think it's really beautiful. I love the setting is very refreshing for the Predator movies, and I love I guess the way that it kind of has an inherent tension in the way that the weapons that Naru has access to are like bows and axes and like older stuff, and then the Predator is just super advanced, so the juxtaposition is really fun.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the Predator is always more advanced, but in this one, it's like you're taking it way the fuck back.
Well, yeah. The Predator is like, he's kicking ass in this movie. Like every time he's on screen, it's like, holy shit, this guy's nuts. This guy's going hard on these guys. And I just love whenever the Predator is on screen and they have to like pretty much face him off. And I do love whenever Naru is kind of using her own knowledge and environment of her, where she lives and all the nature.
Well, what it's doing
to defeat him.
What it's doing that complements the original so well is that Naru is the native, and you're seeing the native use their environment and the things that they know about their own, land and area that they call, their hunting ground, essentially, against this predator that kind of invades. So you're getting a nice spin on the commentary that the first one was giving about the Vietnam War as well.
Yeah.
It's something similar to that. So I think it's a perfect marriage of like the original Predator and what that movie was saying, and Badlands, because Badlands has a lot to do with masculinity, and Prey I think has there's a feminine angle in Prey that really is a nice little pairing with that film. So I think this one is quite great.
Yeah, no, for a Predator movie, it's finally like the first real. It's not even a sequel to Predator. It's a prequel to Predator that a lot of the fans have been wanting, and he delivered. Dan Trachtenberg delivered.
Also,
finally.
The axe with the rope is fucking cool as fuck.
It's pretty cool. I always like kind of like thought it was kind of like it didn't look too like it looked a bit too sleek, like in a way. Like it's like she throws it and she gets it back, and it's a bit too video gamey.
That's why Dan needs to make God of War.
Yeah, I think Dan doing a God of War movie would be like match made in heaven. But I like him in these Predator movies. He's a bit too good making a Predator movie. But yeah, after Prey, I think everybody was like, yeah, this guy give him what he needs to make more Predator movies. And my theory is that he was given the opportunity to make Killer of Killers and Badlands kind of back to back to kind of give him the carnage that he needs for Killer of Killers, but also the adventure and the lore. Also the lore in Killer of
Killers is arguably
has
the most
lore, and the Badlands that.
Guess we can go to Killer of Killers.
Yeah, and Badlands is more like giving the Predator more of a characterization, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he kind of gets the best of both worlds with these two movies.
Oh, wait. I wanted to also shout out to Dane, who plays the Predator in Prey. who I've hung out with a couple times, and he's really cool. So that's another reason I'm pro Prey.
But yeah, Killer of Killers, so it's like, again, just watching this movie, I'm just like, holy, the action is so good, like so good. And I remember when it came out and everybody was like hyping it up, and I was like, yeah, sure, it's probably great, and yeah. And it took me a while. It took me until now to see it, and I'm like, damn, why didn't I watch it when people were saying it was so good? Because it is so good. And the fact that it's an anthology of like 3 different characters, and that like the tying story is also really unique to the fact that you get to see all the different environments that the Predator would go against someone who would defeat it. And you get Vikings, you get samurais, you get World War II, and I just like that you can mix all those together into one movie and still like have it make sense for a Predator movie. And I just think this movie rocks. It's so
he's taken different cultural influences and different time periods and just putting it into Predator. Yeah, and it's so awesome.
I think the only thing that is kind of takes me back a bit is the frame rate, which is kind of weird.
It's either 30 or 24 frames a second animation. Yeah, there's times where it looks a bit choppy. Yeah. It could be a stylistic thing, but there's times where it looks a bit choppy. Also, there is like no, that's it.
Yeah, the movie's great. I think, and it's so brutal. And even with the small amount of time that we have with each character, you get that emotional weight with each one. And by the end of the movie, you see what each character gives to
them trying to escape that situation. Yeah. The way they have to work together, and there's a language barrier between them as well. And it's like, yeah, it's very interesting. You get kind of really good characterization for each of them. And the Predators are like different and huge. And like, the one in the Viking one is like really huge. And then the one in the Air Force one is like,
he's like bald.
Air Force One. There is an Air Force One reference in this movie. Get off my plane.
Yeah.
But
he's got like one eye.
Yeah, he's got like one eye. He's like flying this.
He's like a pirate.
Spaceship. It's a crazy Predator dogfight. Yeah. Like he's just doing so many creative things cool. with the concept. It's like there's a million different Predator movies out there that are just waiting to be made at this point.
I think a lot of people might be thrown off with the fact that this is an animated film. But,
because they're children.
But don't let that stop you. This movie is so cool.
Also, it's important for the lore.
And for the lore, you get to understand why it's called Killer of Killers. We're not talking about the Predators. We're talking about the humans. These are people that have killed predators and have survived.
Well, I think in a lot of the Predator movies, there is actually a trend that is like, we're talking about the humans. Like Predators, they're talking about the humans. Even Predator, the original, you could argue that they're talking about the humans.
Yeah.
Or the soldiers, rather. In Prey, you could be talking about the humans, you know? So there's a lot of different way. I guess Predator Badlands, there's no humans in that. But this film has a lot of lore. The pistol comes back in Prey.
Yeah.
She's given the pistol by a wounded colonizer, essentially, and she, in exchange for helping him.
Yeah.
And then we find out in the end credits of Prey in the animation that more Predators are coming, and then we find out in this movie that when a human takes down a Predator, they're taken by the Predator Society.
Yeah.
And then they're like kept in cryo sleep.
Yeah.
And then I guess they put the humans together and they have them fight to the death. And
kind of like a gladiator situation.
They have a gladiator match, and then they fight like the king predator or whatever. That's I guess they're trying to get to happen in Killer of Killers, but some of those characters escape and then kind of doesn't work out. But we see the pistol being given to the kid Johnny Torres, who's one of the humans in this movie. So the pistol's back in this movie. And then at the end, we see that they have Naru and they have Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and they have Danny Glover's character in cryo sleep. So
yeah, and they're all killer of killers. Too.
Yeah, so really interesting. What are they going to do with that?
Well, the whole thing is that so the Predator Society, the Yautja, is what they're called. They go to all these planets. They hunt and kill all these creatures and beings and things, and they're always trying to advance themselves with better technology and better ways of fighting and hunting and killing. And so when you get all these people and things that have killed predators, they take them and they learn from them. It's like, how were they able to do it, and what can we learn from them, and how do we advance and get better? And so that's the whole point of them taking these killer of killers, pitting them against each other, seeing what they know, seeing how they operate, and learning from them, so that the predators could become more advanced too.
Yeah.
And so that's such a cool concept. They get away in this movie, and my theory is that we'll see these characters again in some kind of future Dan Trachtenberg Predator movie.
Also, there's a samurai character in this movie that's voiced by the guy that played the Yakuza character in Predators.
Yeah, which I saw the other night, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's like a little kind of I don't know if it's a deep cut, but it's nice to see that they're getting some people from the other Predator movies to come in and help along. But yeah, Killer of Killers, so cool. I want to see more of it. Hopefully Dan Trachtenberg will bring back those characters, or that maybe even that style.
Maybe it's just to show like the concept, and be like, yep, these characters are here too. They're gonna eventually learn from them as well. So I think maybe the lesson that the Predators need to learn from all the common denominator amongst Killer of Killers is like they all seem to care about something. They all seem to have like something to fight for.
Yeah.
And that's what allows them to maybe not some of them, but the like if you look at the Killer of Killers movie, there's the Viking woman. She has a son that she really cares about. The Japanese character, he's got him and his brother, or the two samurai. Johnny Torres really likes his car.
Well, he no, he was taught by his dad how to
right.
But then he also had his.
They have heart, is what I'm saying.
There's a character in Killer of Killers, played by Michael Biehn, who's from known for working with James Cameron on like Terminator and The Abyss and Aliens. So there's that was really cool to see him voicing like one of the flyers.
One of the
the aces. Yeah, like, and so he kind of helped the Johnny Torres character, kind of sacrificed himself in that way. So you do see all these relationships that kind of push the main character into finally defeating the Predator.
Right.
And we even get that in Badlands.
We get it in Badlands, and we get it in Prey as well.
Yeah.
There's usually a sacrifice. I mean, you could even look at the original Predator and see that there is like camaraderie amongst those characters.
It's they had to all be wiped out for Arnold Schwarzenegger to be like, oh, now I got to take this guy out myself.
So I think what the Predators are trying to take a crack and be like, this heart, this humanity that these characters have, and
well, that's what they don't really understand.
Right, they don't understand it.
The whole like community aspect and having relationships with each other. It's more about the stronger is always going to be on top, and they got to eliminate the weak. They got to figure out logistics and techniques on how to be better killers and hunters, but there's no emotional weight to any of it. So that's their biggest weakness, is not having that emotion.
Right. Except for now.
Yep.
One of them has figured it out.
Predator
Badlands, we're back.
It's, oh my god, this movie's just so good.
It's such a good movie, again, for younger audiences getting into the franchise. Like, Dan Trachtenberg is literally ushering in a new generation of Predator fans.
Yeah.
I feel like that's exactly what this franchise needs, because at a certain point, when a franchise is approaching 40 years of age, it's you gotta focus on what younger people need to feel that same excitement that younger people felt in the 80s watching Predator for the first time. And that's what this, I feel like, is doing. We kind of talked a little bit about people complaining it's Disney-fied. We talked about how the PG-13 rating doesn't feel like a hindrance at all. I think the homages, the alien stuff, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, the androids, the way that there's a suit in the movie that looks like Ripley's suit from Aliens, the big mech suit. Yeah. And all of that stuff feels very sensibly woven in. It's not like ham-fisted fan service or anything like that.
No, it's so, and I do actually love the way that they promoted the movie. You kind of not really knowing what's going on, what the story is about, or anything. And even in the trailer, when you see it, the big cat mech suit take on the Callus, which is the monster that they're trying to capture. You assume the Predator's in the suit, like taking that on in the trailer, and you're like, "Oh my God, Predator's gonna."
No, the Predator's on the side of the Callus. It's very interesting that I love the setup of this story. So it's like, the two Predator brothers are fighting and practicing, and then I think
there's no fat on this movie. It just goes by too.
Yeah. Also, it starts with like a I guess some text that's like, Yautja's like friend to no one, predator to all. Like it's very
prey
obvious.
to none, predator to all.
Yeah. It's very, very, very obvious. It's like, this is what the movie's about. Yeah. It's like, okay, so we're going to completely deconstruct that. By the end of the film, and that's what's happening here. But regardless of it being obvious and so simple, it is so effective. Like I don't think that things need to be. I guess surprises are nice, and there are surprises in this movie, I guess, in the finer details of things, but it is nice to just have a movie that kind of just checks all the boxes for what you would want out of a theater experience.
And I mean, when the title drops too, it's so good.
Yeah, late title drop, a great trend. I love when that happens.
And I just love this concept of you have this predator who's on a death planet. Literally everything and anything on that planet is meant to kill everything around it. And he just, not only does this predator have to survive this planet, but he has to also take down an unkillable monster. Literally cannot die.
He has to learn that the monster is unkillable, and that also like.
Well, he doesn't learn
he does learn that.
He's told it's unkillable.
Yeah, that's how he learns it.
Yeah,
by being told. I just mean he literally finds that out. That's all I meant.
Yeah,
it's what's great about it is that it's deconstructing the idea that like the thing that if you're killing something, you don't even know what that thing's relationships are. Like all of the humans that we've seen in the previous movies have all had some kind of relationship to someone, and they're the predator doesn't care about that. This is sport. This is a hunt. This is something. This is to prove. It's more about the predator than it is about the prey. It's more to prove themselves. Whereas in this movie, the predator's finally finding out, oh, this thing has a child. And I'm interfering in things I don't understand, and I have the capability to understand other creatures and better myself for it through empathy, basically. And why do I need to kill this? He doesn't see for the longest time in the movie that he shouldn't have to go kill an unkillable creature just for his father to love him.
Well, that's also the thing. It's like he wants the respect of his father, but it's never gonna happen.
No.
And again, it
actually does kind of happen when he defeats his father. He's like, perhaps the right son did survive, but he says it in a very cold way. It's not, there was just no getting through to that guy. And I do like that he doesn't kill him, actually. He takes his mask, and then the Callus eats him. The baby Callus grown up.
And, this every aspect of this movie just, like, makes sense, and it works with the movie. Like, so when he crash lands, he has like a bunch of these weapons that are easily just like taken away from him, like immediately from these killer trees
Yeah.
or branches or whatever. And so he's kind of left to his own devices, and he needs help. Elle Fanning's character, Thea, is the only help that he's got. And she teaches him that you could utilize this environment of deadly creatures and things to your advantage. And he does do that by the end of the movie when he doesn't have any of his tech on him. He uses instead of having the little shoulder gun, he has the little like snake thingy that spits venom.
But it only works if you're in touch with nature and other creatures.
Well, yeah, and he gives him like the little treats so that it'll be on his side. He uses the husk of the bone bison for his armor.
He uses the needles.
He uses the killer
the paralyzing needles and
the
caterpillars.
Caterpillars that blow up. Just everything on this planet wants to kill him, and he utilizes that to his benefit, which is what what they did in the first movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's like, I have all these guns and all these weapons that I could use to kill the Predator, but that's not doing anything. I need to use the environment around me and take that on as my own advantage against the Predator. And he also, again, he learns that he shouldn't be kind of like this lone warrior. He needs help from others, and he kind of gets this little lesson from Thea about being an alpha wolf, which is kind of a message to a lot of these young boys nowadays.
Trying to be alpha males.
Who are trying to be alpha males. It's like, it's not about being the one who kills the most, it's about the one who takes care of the community.
Yeah.
And that's where the respect comes from, and that's where the power comes from.
And I want to bring up the fact that this movie, I think, does have an angle on how women are objectified by these
literally
kinds of men.
He calls her a tool, and you're only used for what I need.
Well, here's what I could imagine someone listening would be thinking is that, well, that character's not an actual person, woman, it's an android, so, why would you treat an android like a human or whatever? Well, first of all, the android actually does have feelings in the movie. There's that, but also it's more, I think, on the subconscious and on the I guess the viewer to look at it this way, because it's an android in the context of the film, but you're watching that android be performed by Elle Fanning.
Well, I don't think it's just like I think it is text, where there's a part where Tessa, which is Thea, the main
the other android,
the counter, she says, that's not what they want us to be. And then she says something in the lines of that, and Thea's like, well, we could be whatever we want to be. We could be sisters. We could be more than what we are told that we are.
Right.
That goes for the fact that they could be talking about being girls. Like, every girl's being told that you have to be this, you have to be that, in order to stick out and provide society with your femininity and whatnot. It's like, you don't need to do that. You could be whatever you want to be. You could be what you choose to be, and I think that's also saying a lot. And you're not just objects. You're not just tools for these guys or people around you that's just using you for whatever need that they want. You could be more than that.
And also, Prey kind of does this too, where it shows like the way the perception that everyone is begging to have of you is actually your greatest advantage. The people underestimating you can be a huge advantage. What I'm saying about the Elle Fanning character is not that that's not text. I'm saying that people are going to try to take it too literally and say, well, how can you tell me a story about women being treated like objects when these women are literally androids? They're not actually human women, And I'm just saying, you're watching Elle Fanning, a woman on screen, perform these things and say these lines. You're supposed to understand that that's what the movie's getting at. That's why they cast Elle Fanning in the role.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that this character is a woman in the movie. It's to show like there's a parallel to yeah, people treat women like these androids, like they're not even
Yeah.
like they're tools, like all this stuff. And so yeah, you have this literal android in the movie being like, no, I can be more than this.
Yeah.
And so I think that's
Yeah, no, it's great. And again, Elle Fanning's so good. Like, she not only does she play a great Thea, but she also plays the Tessa character as well. She's playing a dual role.
Yeah.
So she's doing both sides of the acting. She could be bright and lovely and happy and cute, or she could be kind of menacing and mean and cold. And it kind of shows how great she has. I have always been a fan of Elle Fanning for as long as I could remember. Kind of Super 8 was kind of like the big, like, oh my god, like she's like my celebrity crush.
You should watch Sentimental Value. She's super good in that.
Yeah, whenever that comes out, I'll see
next
it.
week.
Yeah, but yeah, I've always rooted for Elle Fanning for as long as I could remember. And finally, people are like, "Yeah, she's great," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I know she's great. She's
I
been
wasn't
great.
really like just aware of her until I guess recently, but yeah, I do love everything that I've seen her in. And I think my friend Nathan said this movie is kind of just pass fail, like it's like it does what it's trying to do and it succeeds at it, or it doesn't for you. So and for us it does. It's like a movie that ultimately the nitpicks you could throw at it are ultimately not really going to matter.
Yeah.
For the people that really enjoy it, and as it kind of ages, it's just not going to matter. So it's almost not a movie to rate. It's just like, this is a great experience. You either enjoy it or you don't. And I think that's a pretty accurate way of describing this film.
And again, it's like you got to take movies for what they are and what they're trying to be. And if it is, and I think this movie succeeds at everything it's trying to do and be. And I think that's also why it's great. Now, if you don't like it for what it's trying to do and trying to be, then that's fine. But you can't just say, it should have been something different.
Or no, yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst is when it's like the movie clearly has a specific goal in mind, and then everyone's judging it on the merits of a different goal, and that doesn't make any sense.
And that's why I'm just like, I hate the criticism of, oh, it's Disney-fied, it's PG-13, it can't be great, it's not good. It's like, no, you want it to be something different that it's not, and it's not trying to be that. It's not trying to be the OG Predator movie that you grew up with. No, it's adding on to that. It's being more than that.
Yeah.
And you're just not seeing that because you're kind of clouded by this nostalgia or this some kind of entitlement for a Predator to be rated R and bloody and gruesome.
Yeah,
which this movie is. It's just not human blood.
Yeah, someone told me, oh, it's not a Predator movie, and I literally just was like, pretty sure it has Predator in the title and the main character is a Predator, so I actually think it might be a Predator movie. It's like you're what when we say a Predator movie can only be this, it's like, no, we could be more.
That's
we could
why
be sisters.
That's
guys.
why it's been failing as a franchise for as long as it has, until Dan Trachtenberg has come along and saved it, because they've been asking for the same type of Predator movie over and over again, and it just keeps failing at being whatever people think they want, until someone comes along like Dan and just kind of changes it up and is like, no, it could be more than that. It could be something else. It could be a little different than just the OG Predator movie.
He sees the potential in the Predator.
Yeah.
It's not just a tool to him.
Yeah.
He loves the Predator.
Yeah, no, this movie's fantastic. Also, it leads way for a sequel.
Yes, it has a tease of Deck, the main character's mother, at the end coming in, and I think that's
going to be crazy. So, in the Predator lore, the female Predators, which we've never seen on screen, are extremely powerful. They're huge. It's basically a matriarchy. So they're the main, like, leaders of the Predator society, and they don't ever come into contact with these guys until some crazy shit's going down, which is basically what happened at the end of Predator Badlands. And I kind of equate it to like the type of society that lions have, where you have the main male lion. He kind of overwatches the pride, and all the female lionesses kind of go out and get the prey, and they do all the attacking and fighting and hunting.
Just switched.
It just switched on the gender roles. It's the females, female predator, who's kind of like watching the clan of the predators, and then you got the little male predators just going out catching their prey. And
I do think it's really funny that the women predators are just like, yeah, just let them do just let them do their thing. They're gonna pretend like they're the strongest, the best, whatever. Let's just let them have their fun. We'll chill. We'll watch over, and we'll worry when something crazy actually happens. And now something crazy is happening, and we're gonna get Mama Predator, and it's gonna be amazing.
And I also just love how our main character Deck is like such a tiny predator. Like obviously to us he looks kind of big. He's like, I think a little over 7 feet, like maybe less than that. But usually predators are way over 7. Like they're over 7 feet. Sometimes as big as like 12 feet. Like they're huge. Yeah. Predators are huge, and this guy's just tiny, and he's just trying to prove himself. He's like, give me a chance, guys.
The actor that plays him does a great job too. Yeah. And they have I think a practical suit that's mixed with CGI. Like he's got the actual contact lenses on, and like it's pretty crazy what they did with it.
And I know a lot of people are kind of upset about the look of the Predator in this movie, and it's like, he looks pretty good. He looks, I guess, the hair being tied back. Some people, I guess, don't like that. But also, the Predators have always been kind of weird in the fact that they do have these long, thick hair, kind of like braids, not braids, locks, which are such a disadvantage if you're the type of if you're a creature that fights other creatures and stuff, because you can pull that hair easy. Like that's such a disadvantage for anybody who knows how to fight and whatnot. You could go for the hair quick, and that could disrupt whatever you're trying to do. So the fact that he has it kind of tied in the back, it gives it a little less advantage for any other creature to kind of grab on. And
it's like it's so fucking crazy. It's like when things are sensible and they make sense, but then it's at the sacrifice of some kind of aesthetic that people want, then they're mad. But then when something is aesthetically really cool, but it's like, oh, that doesn't make sense logically, people get mad. So it's like, where's the happy medium? And I really am curious, like what is it that people want in regards to that, because it really, I think, just depends on whatever the goal of the film is. But
also, like I was saying, the fact that he's this small, tiny predator, he's against all odds. He's like he's getting through. He has no weapons. He has nothing. He doesn't have a cloak. He has nothing that makes him what we usually see as a predator. He doesn't have any of the weapons that we usually see from predators. He doesn't have. He's not going against humans, which are pretty easy for predators to get at, and he's not like working against things to which he has an advantage. He's constantly at a disadvantage the entire time, and yet he's still like the coolest guy. Like, he's so badass at everything, and even though he's not always on top of it, he does need saving every once in a while from his friends and like little like Bud or
the companions
or but he still has that verve in him, that like he's like
the fucking action in this movie is badass, like, and the entire time.
There's moments where she's like, why don't we go around, and he's like, you give up too easily. Like he really wants to prove himself, which is crazy, but
it shows the nuances. Like the grit that he has is still an admirable trait at times.
In some ways, he's a cooler and more respectable predator than all these other predators and all these other predator movies. Because
by the end of this movie, absolutely,
Like he takes out his dad like pretty easily, honestly.
Oh yeah, because he got creative. He used like the ship
Yeah.
to like get past the cloak, and like it's sick.
It's
So good.
This movie's awesome. This movie, and I think it truly will bring in a lot of younger Predator fans to it, and it is teaching a lot of great lessons. I know people probably don't like the fact that it is like has these themes and lessons in it, but it's like, no, that's good for people. That's good for storytelling. That's good. That's the whole basis of telling stories, and is to have themes and ideas and lessons in them.
And we need that in movies like this that are big, that kids are gonna see, that everyone's gonna watch. We need these reminders, especially now.
Yeah.
How fucking crazy everything is. But
again, 2025 just like in the bag. Like every movie that comes out, it's like, oh, this is one of the great movies
of the year,
of the year, if not of like the decade or more.
Yeah, it's great. Predator Badlands, we're giving it 5.
Yeah, I gave it on immediate watch. I was just like, this is so much better than I ever thought it would be. It's so fun. It doesn't let up. There's no boring parts. All the characters are great. All the action's great. It's so creative. It looks great. Any nitpicky stuff like, oh, there's a lot of CGI or whatever.
Exposition,
whatever. It's like, yeah, that's every other fucking movie that's out here. So cool.
Yep, pretty much a perfect blockbuster. I'm giving it 5 out of 5.
I give it 5 apples in the box.
Yes. Let's do quick maybe Predator rankings individually. I guess I'm just gonna do this off the cuff. I don't really have it like in my head, but I think I can do this real quick. So last place, fucking Predators. Taking it and putting it down there. I don't care. It's the ugliest one in terms of just like it's the most stained, I would say. It's the most wasted in a way out of all of them. So a lot of people would be shocked that I wouldn't put. Now, granted, I haven't seen Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I haven't seen the other Alien vs. Predator, but besides that, a lot of people would maybe put The Predator at the bottom. I don't care. I like this one marginally less.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of a tie between The Predator and Predator 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because The Predator has brutality, it has humor. Predator 2 just, I feel like it's fine while you're watching it, but it just doesn't hold any weight.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of just put those at a shared spot. Maybe The Predator just has the edge, which is it's kind of a hot take.
Yeah.
But I really don't think it's like as terrible as, I know a lot of people find it like very, very offensive. So I do understand that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's intended by the movie, but I also don't think it's wrong to say that it's quite tone deaf.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun enough. Anyway, then I guess we get into like the good stuff. I'm actually gonna hit Predator Killer of Killers, I think, for number 4, because it's just a really unique take on everything. It expands the lore. It's really entertaining, like 85 minutes. I do just have like, the animation's just kind of hit or miss stylistically. It's more of a personal preference thing, but I do like all of the stories. Okay, I think the samurai one is so fucking badass. Like, I just love samurai and the aesthetics. So that was really cool. So I'll put that at number 4. Number 3, Predator, the first one.
Yeah,
that one.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. It's so well done. I love the commentary that it has underneath. I love the look of the film. I love the Predator in the movie. Like, it's seeing that. I don't know. There's something there's a novelty to just that one Predator versus like all these guys. Before everything kind of got bigger in some of the other movies. Yeah. So I love that one. And then I would put Prey at 2, because I think it's equally refreshing. It strikes a really good balance of being refreshing while also being a return to form for the franchise. And I think that's perfect. And I love Naru as a character, and I love the setting. It's beautiful. So That's number 2, and then number 1, I'm gonna say Predator: Badlands. It's a coming of age movie about a young boy, basically, and
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite genres, and it's done through this badass like sci-fi adventure movie. So,
Yeah.
fuck yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
All right, I guess my ranking. I'll put in the Alien versus Predator movies in here just because, whatever. But last one, obviously Requiem. Like there's nothing good about it.
I believe you.
Second to last would probably be Predator 2. I don't like hate the movie by any means. It's just such a waste of a Predator movie. I feel like it doesn't really introduce a lot of cool stuff, and I don't know. It feels like it's trying to be all these other movies that it's really not, or it doesn't need to be. But Predator 2, then Predators again, just sucks. Like it could have been great, but it, like, as the movie goes on, it just gets worse and worse. Also, just the characters are awful. Like, obviously they're awful. Like, they're supposed to be awful, but they're awful. They're like, it's like, IDF, and rape
weird.
jokes.
It's weird because they're awful, and then it tries to really shine through the humanity. It's like, I'm not rooting for these guys.
Yeah, it's like, how do you have the IDF character the most empathetic character? That doesn't make any sense. Then Alien versus Predator. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie that's not... I don't see it as canon. I don't think most people see it as canon, but it's a fun, non-canon Predator movie. You get to see a Predator fight some xenomorphs, and that's cool. Then... Okay, I got Predator 2, Predators...
You have The Predator and the Trachtenberg movies and the original left.
Okay. The Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously it's not the greatest Predator movie. It's not even really a good Predator movie, but it's got a bit of charm there. It's out of all the other ones that I've named, I would rather rewatch this one than like Predators or Predator 2. Like you said, I understand why people don't like this movie. It's fine. It is still wasted potential. I think there is a good Shane Black Predator movie somewhere out there, but it's just not this one. Now we're getting to the fun stuff. I think I might have to say Predator, the OG. This is 4th place?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
would have thought you would have had that shit higher for sure.
I know, you would think so, but I do love the movie. Like, this is the one I grew up with, this, and I have a lot of respect for it. I love the director. I love the movie. It's like this perfect 80s action, cheesy sci-fi horror movie. That's just not as prestigious as, say, Alien, but but enough fun for it to be on that echelon of like sci-fi horror movies of the time. And I do love that movie, but in terms of the Predator franchises, they get better. And now maybe this will surprise you, but I think my third is going to be Prey. Because it's what I do, and again, I love it. I think it's great. I think it is actually that, like you said, the good, refreshing take on the original Predator, but also kind of a return to form. And yeah, it's super fun. I think I've always had like just a small issue with the pacing of the first like third of the movie, but
I think that's where we really differ on it.
Yeah,
because I like that it kind of, the movie structurally operates like a hunt. It's like, first you stalk and then
and it's not like terrible. It's not like I'm like falling asleep or nothing. No, it's just like let's get on with it. But it's still great. I still love Prey. I'm not saying that it's bad by any means, but above that, I would say Killer of Killers. It might be a hot take to have that as the second best Predator movie, but it's just so cool. It's such a cool movie. I want to see Dan Trachtenberg like do more with that stuff. Maybe bring the characters back, or like do another animated Predator movie or something like that. It's so so much ideas in this movie and so much potential that is expanded upon, and the lore is expanded upon, and it's so cool. It's I don't I can't even say much more than that. It's just such a cool movie. And then of course Badlands. Um, Again, maybe this is a hot take to have the newest Predator movie be the best Predator movie, but it is.
I do this kind of shit all the time.
This is the best Predator movie because it uses everything that we know and love about the Predator and just makes it so much better. Okay, it's PG-13, but that's not the point. That's not the point. It's much more than that. It's saying a lot of great things. The action is incredible. The music's great. It looks great. Everything about it's just great. Whatever complaints there are, it seems very mostly subjective in the fact that people want something more in lines of the first Predator, which this movie isn't that, which I get. But it's doing something different. It's really expanding upon the lore and what a Predator movie can be, and how you can make a Predator a main character and have it work. Because everything leading up to it, you would assume that Predator would be a terrible main character because of their ideology and their like the type of creature that they are, but he really makes it work for this movie. In a way, Dan Trachtenberg does the impossible with this movie, and that's why it's the greatest one.
It deconstructs the Predator belief system.
Yeah.
Also, my final note on this, it's After Earth. I wish Dan Trachtenberg had directed After Earth, because he would have made a better movie, let's be honest. I mean, that father-son, the father's super stoic, the son wants to prove himself, he goes to a dangerous planet where everything's trying to kill him, it's video game-like. It's fucking After Earth. It's like a better version of that movie. Very similar in a few ways, that just a glimpse into my twisted mind. This is the stuff I think about all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had to put that in there. But I'm glad we come out with this very similar list.
Yeah.
Same number one pick, which I think is quite rare, honestly. Like, we kind of don't differ a lot on whether something is positive or negative, but we usually differ on the level to which we like or dislike something. And I feel like with this one, we're kind of just perfectly in sync. We both came out of the theater and we're just like, that ripped. Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah.
And we just kind of glazed it the whole way home. So yeah, what do you think is the best Predator movie? Is our question for you listening.
Yeah.
And what do you think is going to happen in the one after this? Also, go see Badlands so that we can get that movie.
So far, it looks like the box office is doing really well. So I have a lot of high hopes.
Yes, high hopes for
the
future.
We got to see a Mother Predator.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for what they do with this next. Now it's like on some like this. That's my one of my most anticipated movies coming out.
It's also kind of scary because what if Dan Trachtenberg comes out with a Predator movie that just doesn't speak to people? Like, I don't want to think. I don't want to think about it, but like there's always that possibility.
Well, he's never let us down so far.
That's true.
With any movie.
That he's done.
All right. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Follow us on other platforms. Leave a like, leave a comment, rate the show, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I've been Peyton.
I've been Adryon.
And we'll see you next time on the Apple Box.